Hello, and welcome to another episode of Millionaires Are Made, the show where we believe you can grow to be a millionaire in all six aspects of health. That's right, we don't just focus on your bank account because there's more to life than money. Every week we share tips on how to improve your physical, mental, social, spiritual, intellectual, and also your financial health. Today's episode, we are focusing on financial health and how to live cheaply, how to reduce your expenses so that you can live happier and longer with more money. If you've never seen Millionaires Are Made, this is a show built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet knows something you don't, and everyone has something to share in this big, beautiful world. We are on a mission to teach the world for free how to grow into the healthiest version of themselves that they can be. In the spirit of authenticity, all of our guests, we do not talk to them about their tips or their advice backstage. So right now, you're going to hear, at the same time I'm going to hear from their own life journey what they think is the best way to improve their financial health by living cheaply. Audience, this is an interactive show. We love your questions and comments, and we repeat them live out loud. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. We monitor all of them, and we'll ask your questions to our guests. If you want to be a guest on our show, we definitely believe everyone has something to share, and we welcome just about anyone. So feel free to click the link that's being dropped right now. Sign up as a guest, and we'll get you on a show with an awesome topic that you know something in to share with the world. If you have topic ideas and you want to learn something, or you want us to investigate it, let us know. You can mention it in the comments right now. You can shoot us an email, DM us on anything you want. And we'll go find three experts on that topic and go throw an entire show just for you. Dun, 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 dun. If you love learning and growing and are interested in more about how we do things, I do offer free one-on-one growth sessions. That link's being dropped right now. You can click that, sign up, and come hang out with me for a free little coffee and talk about where you might be struggling in life and see if I can help you in any way. Ooh, huge announcement. We now have merchandise, t-shirts and mugs and calendars. If you want to get involved in Millions Are Made and you love our mission of helping the world grow, check out the link now and buy a little something and go share your love for us. We would much, much appreciate that. And now we have some awesome sponsors to talk about. Our first sponsor here, this show is sponsored by Jesse Lewis, who brings unforgettable entertainment to all of your events. He's a comedian and a hypnotist. He's also a guest on this episode of Millionaires Are Made. He throws hilarious interactive shows guaranteed to amaze and engage your audience. Visit his link right now and go ahead and invite him down. He's an amazing guy, smart, funny, and his hypnotist may or may not work, but you'll have to ask him to find out. Our next sponsor for this episode is Sarah Jones. Sarah was buried in debt, living in a very hopeless marriage, and went to one of the big money gurus to try to learn how to use their money to make their marriage happier. And it actually turned out to really fuck up their life. So she decided to spend her entire life learning how to build a great financial foundation and how to make a happy marriage with it. And now her and her husband travel the US in an RV and teach everyone how to have a happy marriage and a financially free lifestyle. Go check her out and see if you can get some financial freedom from her. We're also sponsored by Craig Sikowski, who is an amazing human behaviorist and mentor. He helps entrepreneurs discover their true identity, which is actually harder than you might think, their purpose, and achieve growth in business and life. Go check out his link right now. And our last sponsor for this episode is Samir Dasani, who is a certified health and nutrition coach who specializes in the prevention and reversal of chronic and autoimmune diseases. Yes, there's a lot of chronic diseases that people think they're going to live their entire life with, and Samir goes and helps reverse that. Pretty crazy, some of the stuff he's done. Go check him out. He helps all his clients reverse autoimmune conditions naturally without medications. And he's about to get another degree, his PhD in anthropology, lives in South Africa, super smart guy. Love him to death. Whew. And last but not least, I want to announce a couple of our followers. If you want to be announced on our show, go follow us on socials and maybe you'll be on our next episode. On Facebook, Max Weltman, thank you so much for following. On Instagram, Jennifer Maxwell. TikTok, Jordan Miranda. And YouTube, Christian Sloan. Thank you all for following. We love it so much. And that brings us to our first guest, Danielle. Danielle, who are you?
Hey, good morning. So, I am an emotional intelligence expert here to help you improve your self worth so that you can live cheaply and live well, almost like with the richness of life.
I love it. I love it. Do you have an answer to this question? If I wanted to improve my financial health by living cheaply, what piece of advice would you give me?
Okay, so I would say keep your receipts because you can download a variety of apps, take pictures of your receipts and upload them, and then get rewarded for them.
Oh, all right. What apps do you recommend?
So I would say Fetch, Pogo, and then
Okay.
Receipt Hog. But I've got a total of 8.
Damn, yeah, I haven't even heard of those. I know Ibotta. Yeah, there's a lot of them. So tell us more about how this works. You buy shit, you upload the receipt, and it gives you cash back based on how and why. Like how
Yeah,
simple it is.
so no, just the way that you described it, it's like you're buying stuff anyway, you're going to Chipotle, just keep your receipt, take a picture of it, upload it, and then I would also say ask your mom to also send you her receipts because she also loves helping you save money, and you're gonna have a ton of receipts and a great relationship with your mom at the same time.
All right, question
And
for you. Do they
uh-huh.
know it? And can your mom upload it and you upload it? Can you guys exchange your sheets and get double the savings?
I don't think so, but
Think
generally
that they
moms
track
don't
that? Generally, moms don't care. Oh
care.
man, that's fascinating. So let me ask you this: What is it on every receipt or specific receipts? Or I know there's one that I think was called Get Upside that's just on gas. It would just be gas receipts, and they tell you where you can save and stuff.
Yeah,
Do you tell me more about all this?
it depends on the app. Like I'm still learning it myself, but that's why I have about 8. And it's like so sometimes like you just upload all your receipts or whatever, and some of them, you'll get the credit, others you won't. Others are more specific for like, going out to eat. So it's like I think for an app called Seated, if you keep your like restaurant receipt, that's you would upload it to there. So you kind of get a
Ah,
sense of like what receipts to upload to which apps.
okay, so specific apps, man. So you could. This is great. So you could really go to like a restaurant, upload this receipt to like all 8 apps. Maybe 3 or 4 of them give you what, like a buck back or 50 cents back or something like that.
Right.
So depending on how much you spend, I mean, you could be saving like 1 to 7 to 10% on everything you do.
Correct.
And I think they have time limits, right? Like some of them you have to upload within 72 hours or within like 48 hours. So it almost could become a routine at the end of the day. You collect all your receipts from that day, take pictures, upload them to all 8 to 10 of your apps, which will take you like 5 to 10 minutes, and then just see what comes out. And you could make, 10, $20 at the end of every day in 10 minutes.
So regardless, the theme here is you probably want to consider what is worth your time and choose, but you'll have to make a change. It'll be a habit. But something like that, it's an initial investment of your time, but it pays off because it just becomes a habit, part of your life.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you saving the receipts takes literally zero time, like maybe 30 seconds a day. And at the end of the day, if you spend 10 minutes uploading and it saves you $10, I mean, that's like $60 an hour. For most people, that'd be worth it. That's a great tip. All right. Danielle, where on your life journey did you learn this advice?
So on the side, I also host events for a group in the city called the New York Social Network. And there was a girl I was working with who sat down with Chipotle and took a picture of her receipt. And I said, "Oh, are you like giving that to our boss to like get reimbursed? And she said, no, I'm getting like money back through like all these apps. And she showed me all of her apps. And so I downloaded all these apps that I just shared with you.
And how long ago was that? How long have you been doing this?
So since November.
Nice. Very cool. Awesome, Danielle. Well, we're going to move on to our next guest and we will bring you out for the round robin. Next up, we have Jesse. Jesse, tell me, who are you?
I'm Jesse Lewis. I'm a comedy hypnotist. I perform all over Western Canada. Let's go. Let's do this.
Let's go. Who are you? Let's go. Let's do this. We're currently doing it right now, Jesse. Jesse,
Okay.
does this say in your name that you have cheap thrills? I don't want to ask about that. Never mind. Jesse, I have a very important question for you. If I wanted to improve my financial health by living cheaply, what piece of advice would you give me?
I have so many, but I'm going to give this one, which is the most important in my opinion. Buy quality tools and maintain them. That may sound counterintuitive, but if you buy the cheap crap, it breaks and you spend 4 times as much. If you buy the quality stuff, it lasts 4 times as long and you have it for a lifetime instead of throwing it away. And then also with that, maintain your home, maintain your vehicle. Because if you don't do the maintenance on it, it just goes to shit. And then you're left with nothing and you have more loans and more debt and you're not living cheaply. Sometimes the best way to live cheaply is by buying quality and maintaining your crap. So.
All right, let's delve into this. All right, so buy quality tools. So do you have to use the tools or you just buy them and hold on to them?
This is for if you're somebody like me who does their own maintenance. And if you don't do your own maintenance,
which would be living cheaply and not paying someone to do it.
For instance, this whole back wall, the whole backdrop, we didn't get a handyman to do it. I did it. It's not fancy, but it works. We just redid another room in our house and I did the whole damn thing. Understanding how to do that can save you thousands and thousands of dollars every time you do a reno. The room next to us would have cost about $5,000 to do for somebody to come in. And for me to do it was about $700. So you weights and balances, right?
Yes, that's huge.
Living cheaply isn't just about that. It's if you maintain your stuff, it lasts longer. It really is. Or it really does. So, yeah.
And so then you also mentioned maintaining your car. And this is a big one. I actually just had a friend whose car blew up, most likely from a lack of maintenance with oil of some sort. So maintaining your car, that's like what? Rotating your tires, getting your brakes done, because especially oil changes. I've had multiple friends with cars that blew up because they just put off oil changes for like years, apparently. I don't know. So tell us more about that.
You think about it. Most vehicles these days, I own a truck. When I bought that truck, it's a 2015. When I bought it, it was worth $40,000. If I went to buy that truck today, it's worth probably $80,000. Now, that's more than what my house costs that I bought. So, yes, I have a very cheap house. But if you think about that, you have an $80,000 investment sitting in your driveway. Why would you not maintain that? It is crazy not to. And changing your oil is really simple. If you can't afford to take it to a shop to get it changed, then you probably shouldn't be driving that vehicle in the first place. Or you can change it yourself. Once you're past your warranty, there's no reason that anybody watching this, unless they're in a wheelchair or paralyzed, can't change their own oil. It's a filter that you screw off and a nut. That's it. It's not hard. Then you put a new filter on, watch a YouTube video so you do it right, and you put the nut back in and you fill it full of oil. Your oil's changed. It's not complicated. There's a reason they have 16-year-olds doing it at the Jiffy Lube. As far as tires rotations goes, there's nobody here that can't change their tires. Maybe they're just too lazy. Maybe they were never taught how. Go on YouTube. You can learn. And you can save a lot of money. Instead of spending $150 on that oil change, which is what it costs in Canada for my truck now, I can spend about $40 and change my oil. $100 in savings every 3 months, just right there. So there's lots of ways to save.
I'm glad you said that you pay $150 for an oil change, because We pay that down here, and it used to be like $40 in Denver.
It has been completely
Oil.
insane. But I can go to Costco and pick up the same oil for $37 for 2 great big jugs of it, and that's what it takes to change my truck oil. And then the filter's $12. So I can do it for under 50 instead of 160, 150, whatever it is. So anybody can do that. Any human being, male, female, any other gender, can do an oil change. It's not hard.
All right. I love it, Jesse. We're going to move on to our next guest, who is Sonia. Sonia, tell us, who are you?
Hey guys, Sonia Montenegro here. I am Sonia Montenegro, and I am a part of the financial literacy campaign. So that's actually, what we're talking about. It's pretty much what we do. We teach people how to make money and how to save money, how to make money work for you. And yes, I think for me, everything they've shared is great advice. Something that I definitely recommend and always recommend. But yes, I mean, that's a little bit about me.
You were about to answer the next question,
Yes,
weren't you, Sonia?
but I have to stop myself because I can keep going.
All right, Sonia, if I wanted to improve my financial health with living cheaply, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
One thing, and this is something that I learned from my parents. Okay. One thing, live below your means. A lot of people are spend more money than what they make. And something that I learned with my parents, like my dad, he's been disabled for many, many years. My dad, my mom, most of the time making the minimum salary, but they never had credit card debt. They never had a card payment, and they were able to pay off their mortgage. So to me, just see how they did it and see how many people make a lot of money and they still struggle every single day. It's mind blowing. It's just crazy how and the way they did it. Basically, one of the things, they did not eat a lot out in restaurants. I know you can save a lot of money going out and eating out in restaurants every day or every week. You're spending a lot of money and you don't really pay attention to that. You're not aware of that because it just becomes part of your life, part of your norm. I used to work for JP Morgan Chase, and every morning I would go, the first floor and go to Starbucks every single day and buy my cup of coffee and my breakfast. That was like $10-11 every single day. That was before I got into financial literacy, of course. But then after learning that, I'm like, man, saving $200 can really get you ahead of the game. In 10, 20, 30 years, why are we spending all this money? Why are we not saving that money? And to me, just seeing my parents, I'm always grateful for everything they taught me and everything that I've learned after, being part of the financial literacy campaign, seeing how, and also, working at the bank. I used to work back in 2007. I used to work as a teller for Bank of America. And you will see people working at McDonald's making $675 an hour, and they had money in their savings account. But then you will see people in doing business in construction, which is a very and making large deposits, but their account will go negative, and you will be like, what is going on? So literally just live below your means. If you get a $1,000 a week, I'm just gonna give a simple an example. First, put aside your 10%. You have to save the 10%. Just pretend you did not get the 10%. The other 10%, find a way to invest and maybe live with 50% of your income. If we can learn how to do that, we're gonna have a happy life, because a lot of people spend a lot of money paying creditors, banks, instead of just enjoying the life with the money that they make.
I love it, Sonia. I love it. So tell us a little more where you learned this. You now teach financial literacy, but you did not when you worked beforehand. So where did you learn this advice?
Grew up with my parents, but I didn't really I grew up like that, but wasn't really conscious of applying that, because I think as you grow, you kind of get involved into the system and you just become one of us, basically. So I did, I did got myself I've been debt free. You know, one thing that, you know, with everything that I learned at the bank, how to pay off your mortgage, in less time. I was able to pay off my mortgage. I had a goal. You know, first you have to have goals. Paid off my mortgage, my first house by my 30th birthday. So that's what I did. Both my husband and I used to work, and he will take care of the bills, you know, and I will I will save all my money. I wouldn't spend all my income from the bank. I will save every penny. And you know, I would just, you know, save 10,000, 20,000, you know, pay that towards the principal. So technically that mortgage, after I learned how, you know, how that works, technically I paid off the mortgage in 5 years. And then after that, I
Wow.
teach my
Okay.
parents how to do that. And that's how they were able to pay off their mortgage. But literally, like you said, if you make, because, you know, let's say together you make $5,000, but if you can live with $2,500 and save the other half of the salary, if you marry, you know, that's just a great way to do it. That's a great way to do it.
Getting married is important. All right, let's go. Let's
Now,
all
if
get
you're
married.
not married, I think that's actually a lot easier, because you don't have to share or, you know, agree with anyone how to spend your money. You know, you are in control. So I think that has a benefit to that as well. You know, so technically that's how I
I
grew
love it.
up. And also, you know, growing up, I started working very young. I think being responsible helps you as well. You know, started working at the age of 16. You know, bought my first car at the age of 16, and bought my first house at the age of 19. And then, you know, around, I want to say that between the age of 25 to 30, maybe that's when I kind of got back into the system, and I did got myself back into, after having a no, I said 35, maybe after paying off the mortgage, having no card debt, no credit card debt. I got back into the system. I always say back into the system, which was getting back into credit card debt, and then it was hard to get out of that as well. So you know, to me, just live below your means, and staying home and cooking at home, it will help you save a lot of money. Because I know that's, if you ask me what did my parents do to be debt free, I mean, literally their whole lifetime, it's cooking at home and living, you know, and it's a good quality of life. I never saw them, you know, no, that we had a good quality of life, humble, you know, but it was a nice quality of life. No financial stress, that's for sure.
Nice. All right, Sonia, we're gonna bring everyone else out for the round robin here. And start our next point. Audience, this is a great time for you to ask questions on financial health and how to live cheaply. Let's start with Danielle. Can you quickly refresh your tip for
So
us?
keep your receipts, because there's actually a lot of ways that you can pay yourself back through apps. So, yep, that's my tip.
Use apps and receipts to get cash back. Jesse, thoughts on that tip?
That's fantastic. Thinking about it, you know, if we're spending $3,000 a month on average, which is not that much, just on stuff, if you can do all your receipts and get 10% back, that's $300. Throw that into a high interest financial advisor, and you'll make a lot of money back in a very short amount of time. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, 10 minutes a day, if you can even save $10,
Every day.
I mean, that adds up
Every day,
pretty quickly.
that's $300.
$300 a month just for taking pictures, uploading the apps. That sounds simple and easy. We're gonna have to try it out, Danielle, and find out if your apps are gonna work. So I don't really know how they work. I assume that it's trying to get you on the app, and they give you, like, 1% back, and they run ads or have memberships of some sort for their revenue. I don't know. I'll have to look into it, how they make money, but it's a pretty fabulous little idea. I mean, who wouldn't download an app that's going to give them 1% back on all their purchases?
So I just want to clarify as well. Some of them, it's like you have to be flexible, where they give you a gift card for like Amazon, Sephora, Starbucks. So like, if you're like an entrepreneur, it's like you'll always take people out for coffee, or people will want to talk to you. So if you can like make the change of, like, instead of going to a mom and pop coffee shop now and then, like, hey, let's go to Starbucks. Oh, I'll get you a coffee. You know, it's like, wow, Danielle's so cool. She bought me a coffee. Thanks, but it's not your money. So it's like a win-win.
And that makes sense because you can buy gift cards at a discount. So then they can claim it's like a $25 cash back, but they really only pay like $18 for it. So that makes margin better for them. Interesting. Sonia, what are your thoughts on
I
Danielle's
love
tip?
it. I actually used to do that. My neighbor shared the app, and I can't even remember. And I did it for a long time. I was scanning all the coupons because my husband is in the construction business, and she's like, "Man, just put all those receipts from Home Depot and everything he buys in your app." And I was doing it, but I just stopped doing it, and I don't know. I never really got the opportunity to either get the points or I might go back and see if I have anything in there. I don't know if they expired. But it's a great idea, definitely.
All right. Yeah, we're going to have to investigate that. Keep that in mind for the daily challenge. We're probably going to have to incorporate that somehow. Fascinating idea. If the return's good enough, that'd be really cool. Jesse, can you refresh what your tip
Buy
was
good
for
tools,
us?
maintain your stuff. It's that simple. Make sure that you maintain what you already have so you don't have to buy new stuff.
And so you're referring mostly to your car and your house if you're a
Yes.
homeowner.
To anything you have.
Laptops.
Yes,
Some computers are on that.
computers,
Yeah.
the tools in your garage, things as simple as a washer and dryer. Would you rather go buy a $1,200 washer, or would you rather put a little sprocket in the bottom of it that costs $23? It's not that hard. You figure it out. Or you can hire somebody to do it. It's still cheaper than probably buying a new one.
Yeah. So anything worth over like $300, take the time to maintain it so you don't have to buy a new one, essentially.
And really, it's not that hard. You can look this stuff up, and if you can't, find somebody who can fix it if it's reasonable to actually do so. Yeah.
I love it. All right. Sonia, what are your thoughts on Jesse's tip?
That's something that we do here at home. My husband is a handy person and handyman, and of course, he's the construction industry. So we do that all the time. You're right. Just this house that we live in, he literally rebuilt the house himself, and that saved him thousands of dollars. So definitely, that is a great advice. Definitely recommend it. I can tell you, you will save a lot of money if you do those things yourself.
I love it. Danielle, what are your thoughts on Jesse's
I actually
tip?
have a question because I'm wondering, like, for Jesse, what is I guess it's like the item that you have owned the longest due to like maintaining it.
Okay, so I no longer own this item because I went through a divorce. But I brought up the washing machine specifically. It had a sprocket in the bottom and it was probably a 20-year-old washing machine at the time. It came with the house that me and my ex-wife had. And it was a little 3-prong sprocket. That washing machine was replaced last year, 10 years after I fixed that sprocket. So we had a 10-year run of having a perfectly usable washing machine simply because I spent $30 instead of spending $1,200. And the new one that she bought broke within 2 years. So what does that tell you? And it was a perfectly good washing machine. Sometimes we don't need the absolute best thing. Sometimes if we can make do with what we have and maintain what we have, it's a better option.
Yeah, I wonder about planned obsolescence as well, because I also have a very old washing machine, and I recently had it fixed last year, and the guy was like, don't ever get rid of this thing.
Yeah. It was probably a little sprocket.
Yeah, it was the smallest part. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we've got a question from the audience. What are your favorite low effort, high impact ways to save money daily? Danielle kind of already answered that with her tip. Let's see what Sonia and Jesse have to say.
I will say, if you can do a meal prep on Sunday and don't have to worry about cooking during the week, that will save a lot of money. And yeah, we do have to maybe put a little effort into on Sunday, but the rest of the week you don't have to worry about it, and you don't have to go out there and spend money. So I think that's a great way to do it.
Jesse, you got an
I
answer?
do. I'm going to go full dad mode here. Turn off the fucking lights. Turn off the lights. I know it sounds stupid, but if you leave a light on, it's costing you about $1 a day. So if you got 5 lights on throughout your house, holy shit, you're wasting money. And the same thing goes for turn your furnace down or your air conditioning off. If you're not in the house, why is your air conditioning running for 24 hours a day? It makes no flipping sense. Turn shit off. Really simple. It would help the power grid too.
It would help the power grid. So I like that Sonia said that. I think that one of the biggest ones that's simplest for people is cooking. Meal prepping. Whenever I cook for like 3 or 4 meals. So I always have something ready to eat. But I mean, on the day that you can spend so much money on food, and it's so much cheaper, and it's not that long or time intensive to just cook it yourself. So that's one thing. If you don't know how to cook, I would learn how to have 5 to 10 meals that are pretty quick that you like, that you can have once a month, and have those in your repertoire so you can cook those when you need. But I mean, food is a huge way to save money. The other thing I would say on this specific question would be, instead of your 10 minutes of doom scrolling on social media, to read a book. You will enhancing your knowledge is probably the number one way to increase your income. Skills, how people think, how people work, whatever you want to reading from experts is probably the number one way to invest in yourself, and it's virtually free. Cool. All right. Well, we're almost out of time here. So let's go ahead and do my favorite part of the show. We have to come up with a daily challenge that takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, is available to anyone in the world in order to improve our financial health by living cheaply. What are your guys' thoughts?
I would say think of something you buy every day, and there's a lot of people out there that buy coffee. Stay away from coffee. Stay away from Starbucks. If it's not coffee, it's boba tea or gas station stuff. I would say just stay away from those little spending it every day, even if it's $5-10. Try that and see how much money you could be saving in a month or a week.
I think that's a good tip.
Okay.
It's a very good tip.
Yeah, I
Go
think
ahead,
that's
Danielle.
a good tip. And also, just to piggyback off of that, is to pay attention to your spending habits, because you don't want to go overboard, and if you do something radical, you're not going to stick to it. So maybe pay attention to 2 or 3 top spending habits that you have.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, Jesse.
I got nothing. As far as the challenge goes, I really think the coupon thing or the receipt thing, that's what the challenge should be. I really do. Because
I'm thinking that save your receipts for a day and add up how you spend is probably a solid challenge. Learning how much you spend on an average day outside of your fixed costs, because obviously your rent and your electricity doesn't change a whole lot, and your car payment if you have one or whatever. But I think I like that idea of actually just saving every receipt for a day, and at the end of the day, spending 5 minutes just staring at them, going, all right, I spent $60 today on this and this and this and this. I think that's a good just simple challenge that can get your mind thinking and your subconscious thinking about how much you're spending.
And I think someone has.
Any objections to that?
I think someone has a question for Sonia.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll get to that after the challenge. Any other thoughts on the challenge, guys?
that's it.
No, that's great. I'll be doing it myself.
All right, all we're doing is saving the receipts for a day and then reviewing them that night. That sounds simple and easy and effective. All right, before we sign off, we got one last question for you, Sonia. What's one What's one financial mistake you see people making that could be easily avoided?
Definitely not budgeting. I think that it's just not tracking where money is going. Actually, we have workshops Monday through Friday if any one of you guys are interested. But in one of the workshops that we have is basically that, which is not the receipt, but tracking where your money is going, because a lot of people don't know where the money is
Right.
going. So they get paid, and then 3 days later, the money's gone. But then they say, "Wait, where?" So we really have to sit down and pay attention to where's our money going. And I think that's it has helped me a lot, because I was, that's the way I used to live. So that could be a great way to start. There's a lot more I can sit here and talk about it, but I know we have to do another one. But yes, that's one of them that I know it will help for sure.
If you have more financial literacy questions, go message and follow Sonia and Danielle and Jesse. But if you have questions, this show is over, but you can go talk to them directly and they'll all be happy to help you out. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to wrap this show up. And thank you all for watching. Oh, boy.
I'm like, okay, bye-bye.
Oh, it works, Austin. It works.
Yeah, something like that. I knew this was going to be chaotic. There we go. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching Millionaires Are Made. Hopefully you guys learned a little something about living cheaply. One thing that we did not go over in the episode that is actually massive, we talked a lot about expenses, right? Food and maintaining stuff that you need to survive. But one thing we didn't talk about that's probably a third of your income is rent. So a lot of people love to live alone or love to live in, beautiful places. If you cannot afford it, then it's not going to help. You should be spending less than 30% of your monthly income on rent. And one way to do that is having roommates. When I was young, everyone was living in these studios and one-bedroom apartments, spending like $2,000 a month. And I went the other route and went into like a 3-bedroom house, then a 4-bedroom house, and then like a 6-bedroom house with 5 roommates, 2 kitchens. And I was spending like $400 to $500 in rent. That's $1,500 freaking dollars a month just to live with people. Sometimes it sucks, sometimes it doesn't, but I sucked it up for fucking like 20 years. Actually, I still have a roommate now because it significantly reduces your monthly expenses. As long as you find someone that you can live with and is, helpful to your life, I highly recommend increasing the number of people that you live with to split the cost. It makes life a lot cheaper. If you have any questions on that, obviously, feel free to message us and message any of our